Well, here in Nevada, judges are elected to office for 6-year terms rather than appointed the way they are in the federal system.
And over the years, however, efforts have been made to change that process, allowing the governor to appoint judges, at least initially. That happened again this legislative session. Politics Now co-host Steve Sibelia was following that process. Steve?
Well, Brian and Christiane, the election or appointment debate has gone on for a long time in Nevada. This time around, it was the Assembly considering a change in the process, but it failed to meet this week's deadline for first House passage. It's now considered dead. So what does that mean for voters? Well, you're going to have an awfully long list of jurists to review come next November. Now, Assembly Joint Resolution 9 would have ended judicial elections in Nevada. Instead, the governor would have made the initial appointment from a list approved by the Commission on Judicial Selection. From there, a brand new Commission on Judicial Performance would have evaluated the judge or justice and made a recommendation as to whether that person should stay in office. If the judge or justice didn't get enough votes from the Performance Commission, he or she would have been barred from being reappointed. It's different from some past proposals. In 2010, a ballot question would have provided for the initial appointment of judges and justices who would then appear on the ballot by himself or herself in a retention election. If the judge failed to get enough votes, he or she would have been out and a new appointment would have been made. But voters rejected that measure overwhelmingly, 60% to 42%. This time around, proponents tried something new in an effort to get money out of the process.
But as a lawyer, I know that it's a dangerous thing when money gets involved in selecting judges. And that's what we have in elections and in retention elections. But it actually is so that people electing judges really don't know what the choices are. And because of that, money plays a huge factor. Open contributions, dark money, special interests are involved, and they have an incredible effect in judicial elections.
Not only does money affect races, that money is generally donated by the people with the most direct interest in the court system, attorneys. That creates a system where judicial candidates have to solicit the very people who appear in their courtrooms for contributions and taints the system with the perception of conflicts. And voters have a difficult time judging judges, since lay people don't generally know enough about the law to discern whether a judge is good at the job or not. That leaves a lot of guesswork for voters, especially in the coming year when dozens of judges are going to appear on the ballot. Now, interestingly, H.R. 9 was introduced at the behest of Speaker Jason Frierson, who's a lawyer in his private life. But in the Assembly's Legislative Operations and Elections Committee, it's a long name, it passed without a recommendation and was later placed in legislative purgatory before it finally died this week. Now, by way of explanation, Speaker Frierson said there simply wasn't enough votes to get the bill that he wanted passed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, committees have to have long names.
Yeah, it's an extremely long name. Nobody wants to go to like the lunch committee,
Everyone wants to go to the lunch committee. Thanks, Steve.